Open design is not something I do as an afterthought. I think open design for me is in many ways a life's project. Yeah, this is what my work is about. Whether it's fashionable or trendy or not, it doesn't matter too much to me. By doing open design, I'm basically expressing my creativity on the one hand, but on the other hand, I am showing or expressing my views about the possibility of what kind of future would we like, where can design go, where can culture go in a situation of the internet, of a network. Yeah? How a network is related to culture, and I think open design is a proposal to do that. Open design is spreading little by little. I think openness is spreading more, actually faster. A lot due to open hardware and open software. Open design is a bit harder for people because designers and the discipline by itself is not so much about releasing information and putting online things and so on. But I think as time goes by and a new generation of designers is joining culture, they understand that the internet is their friend and sharing is something worth doing, and basically you can get a lot more by opening your work. Victor Papanek, of course, is one of my early inspirations, or he is still an inspiration for open design. I've been working in open design since 2004. And I first released open design online on my website at the beginning of 2005. And almost exclusively from then on, it is about open design. My work is about open design, whether it is talking about it or doing objects with it and publishing and so on. This is my work. I think at about 2005, suddenly open hardware started to catch my eye on the internet, and before that I couldn't understand that it was possible, because the production of open hardware involves really serious high-tech producing, integrated circuits and so on, and I thought it's impossible, and Arduino comes and shows that it's totally possible and even becomes extremely popular. Because the internet was creating a situation where exchange of ideas and information and knowledge was becoming easier and more acceptable, and maybe this was the trigger for many people in different fields to think about this, because it's actually it has to do with openness has to do with internet. About network. Then the option of opening or using open as a method of working became much more possible. Actually, it became natural in a way. It was not the only thing that you had to overcome is your learned reflex of defending your intellectual property in a traditional way. But when the internet is there, you understand that it doesn't defend you. It just keeps other people from knowing what you're doing. Production in open design is far more simple than production in any other method, because I use industry like you would use a printer. You send a file to somebody, and he has the machines and the laser cutters and whatever it is, and you get back a product. There is a situation where the producer is not above you. He's not controlling. He actually doesn't care what I want to do. He just produces it, and we become friendly after several years. So this whole situation of producing through open design is extremely simple and easy, and I would say even cheap. I don't produce my object as mass production, but when you're talking about craftsmanship, then we're seeing a rise of a new form of craftsmanship. It's digital craftsmanship. It's the qualities that manufacturing digitally can bring about. And this is quite new. This is, let's say, the last 10 years we've seen more and more of it. And it brings back something that, in a way, mass production lost. This sense of doing something very customized, doing something very personal, doing something that is that shows craftsmanship and not only mass production capabilities. There is something in a product that is on a different level of quality than a mass production. There is, when you produce something as an open design, then the production is CNC. It is direct from file production. There is no tooling. There is no need for the producer to think about spending money on production tools for your design. So actually there is no binding relationship between the producer and the designer. It's just a service. And this makes everything very clear and very easy and in a way cheap. Well, success is to measure success. There's several ways of measuring it. Did I sell a lot of products? No, but I sold some. Do I make a lot of money by selling these products? No, not so much. But I think the success is, part of the success, let's say, is sitting here talking to you. And this is kind of an indication that something that I created or my creativity brought me to this place, and talking to many people and teaching in many places and giving workshops and etc. This is an indication that maybe something that I'm doing is worthwhile to other people, and in a positive way. And I don't know, I think it's hard to say about success. It's hard to measure success in terms of I design something, I produce it, I sell it, I get money from it. If I sold more, then it's more successful. Yes, it is so, but sometimes you design something and produce it or publish it, and it begins to be successful, or begins to create attention 4, 5, 6, 8 years after it was done. So I think success, I would like to see it as an accumulation of references to my work or uses of my work, and the amount of people I talk to and they start thinking about this direction and so on. So it's not a 0 or 1 situation. Success is a long process, I would say. Well, I have two, I would say, lanes I'm working right now. One is I'm keep on doing my chairs, because I cannot stop doing chairs. This is one thing. And the other, in the last year and a half or so, I am a creative consultant for big companies, connecting, or in a way moderating, the open culture to corporate culture, and creating opportunities and projects that involve the two together in a creative way. Synergies between open and closed scenarios, let's say corporations, companies, and the open culture. Yes, of course, it's not only possible, but I think large companies are realizing today that things have changed. I mean, the paradigm of how they produce and how they bring a product into the market and what they do becomes it's a bit old, it's a bit very used, and they're looking around and they see the open culture and they understand that the cutting edge of culture is networked, it is open. So, and they want to be, in a way, a part of it, on their terms, but a part of it. So I think if companies, big businesses stay as they are, they don't change too much, but part of their activity is with the network, on the network, with the community of contributors, transforming part of their work into in an open scenario. They do it, they're interested in doing it. It brings a lot of options for them that they cannot do in the normal way. So yes, there's a lot of space for synergy, definitely. Yeah, Etopia is a I would say Etopia is an extremely important project inside the city, because it has to do with education, it has to do with showing new things to young people, and young people come in and experience technology in a very open and I would say inviting environment, and it's not a school and it's not a university, but it's a center that culture, all kinds of cultures come together in a non-judgmental, easygoing, welcoming environment. I think every city needs something like an Etopia, at least one, and the whole structure of what it is, how it works, is super friendly. And I think if I was a young person living in Zaragoza, I would probably be here. I would spend here a lot more than as much as possible. Etopia, as other places that have fab labs or maker spaces, offer something that is cutting edge in culture. Not necessarily the electronics and software and hardware. There is, universities still hold a very professional stance in this area. They're very good at what they do. But if you are a young person, curious enough and want to express yourself in these areas, then places like maker spaces and Etopia are the natural places to go, because although you don't get a degree by being a maker, you create something of your own. You get a lot of help doing so. You express your creativity. You learn something in a way that is not academic. And I think learning by doing, as such as like a fab lab and so on, is much more rewarding than going into university and doing the lessons one by one, like by a plan. Here you can find yourself drawn into doing something that you want to do, not somebody else wants you to do, or thinks that it is important for you to do. So this kind of freedom is, I find it very much relevant for the culture we are living in. And maybe this is kind of a signifier that universities are a bit losing their, I would say, importance in creating knowledge and creativity, and maybe some of it is transferred to places like this and fab labs and the whole maker culture in general. A maker is, there's no, I would say there's no clear definition of what is a maker. Yeah, if you are more into programming or coding, fine. If you're more into 3D printing, fine. If you are both of them, fine. Everything is, there's no compartments. The fields are mixing into each other. You become what you become. You follow your curiosities. You follow things that you're interested in. You follow your creativity, and so on and so on. So you become much more, I would say, spontaneous in what you become, than rather be in a university and learn a specific trade or a specific field. Yeah, creators, definitely. After a crisis situation, it's not specific for Saragossa, but let's say a lot of cities in the world face the situation where they have to rebuild and regenerate their industry. And places like Etopia or Fab Labs or open culture in general offer a proposal, offer a possibility of some kind of new cooperation between companies and companies, people and companies, community and company. Everything is possible, and I think having a hub, a center like this should draw the attention of industry, because they can find here creative people, new ideas, new approaches, new opportunities to collaborate and so on. And I think this is maybe, if you want to regenerate the city's industry, maybe a place like Etopia is a place where these things can happen or can start. It's not the solution, but maybe it's part of the solution, or the beginning or opportunity to have some kind of the solution.